Hello, hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. I am back with another live and another craft because we are celebrating the ultra famous, I would say, in my Cardstock Warehouse's $5 cardstock sale. So all this week I am going live with you. I'm super excited about all the projects that we have in store for this week, and we're almost over. So yesterday we created these centerpieces. Oh, what am I trying to say here? I am if you follow me on Instagram, you do know that I posted a reel today about my daughter's last day of school. She's a graduating senior, and I'm just a little sad. So my head's in a different place today. But yesterday we created these really cool centerpieces using glitter cardstock and then also some plain cardstock. We used plain red and plain black with a little bit of white for these. And then for the glitter cardstocks, we used royal blue, lipstick red, and then new white for these centerpieces. They turned out absolutely amazing. Today, because Father's Day is coming up soon, we're going to make a Father's Day card. So what you want to do is look in the description of this video for a link and a code for a free SVG file. You're going to want to get that because we are going to be crafting with that free SVG file. So you want to make sure and scoop that up. Let me wait until we get more people in here and then we can start crafting. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to tell you a little bit about the cardstock because we are running a sale because we've just launched 7 new colors. So I want to make sure that everyone knows about the cardstock sale and where to get it. It's all going to be linked in the description of this video and what else I have in store. So these are more cardstock swatch books. I'm going to start right here because I need to start right here. So if you've purchased our glitter cardstock before, hello, Jen. Good morning. Oh, it's still morning for you, so good morning. If you've purchased our glitter cardstock before or glitter cardstock books, you don't have to purchase a whole new book when we launch new colors. All you have to do is in the order notes of your next order, just let me know that you need new swatches. And what I've already created is little pouches like this. So when you tell me that you have new, like that you have a glitter cardstock book and you need new swatches, we just throw this into your next order. Also, same goes with the plain cardstock because we did launch 7 new colors of plain cardstock last month. So if you also have a plain cardstock swatch book, just let us know that you need the swatches, and this is you'll get something that looks like this. The glitter cardstock, however, comes with like a little brad right here. All you have to do is unscrew your book and then slip out the shorter screw for this one and then put in your new swatch book, and you can just throw the other short little screw out. Because we've launched so many new colors within the last year, you definitely needed a larger screw for that. So just keep that in mind. So the 7 new colors that launched on Monday are neon pink. This is hot pink. Oh my goodness. I keep calling this neon pink, but it's actually hot pink. Neon orange. Hello, good morning, Patty. Good morning from Bakersfield. It is morning. Like we are waking up at 9 a.m. and we're crafting. So we have neon orange, neon yellow, lime green, bright blue, grape purple, and magenta. So we have all of these new colors. Today, what I've decided though is yesterday we did Memorial Day themed craft because it is Memorial Day on Monday and we didn't use any of the new cardstocks. We're actually not even going to touch these new cardstocks either because I want to play with the new plain cardstocks that launched last month. I'm just going to pull them out. I already have them all lined up for you just so I can show you. So we're going to do a Father's Day card today. If you've missed it, in the description of this video, there's a free SVG file with a code. So before we get crafting, you want to make sure and pick up that SVG file so you can craft with me. And then you just get to choose all your you know, like all the colors that you want. Good morning from Pennsylvania. What? Yes, you are on the same time zone as me. So these are all our new plain cardstock colors that launched last month. It's been like 3 weeks from these and the new colors that launched. So these are all our new colors. Let me put these greens with these greens. I have to tell you that this goldenrod yellow and this tan brown are my two favorite colors out of the new plain cardstocks. The reason for that is a long time ago, there was a cardstock company, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but they used to make these colors in 8.5 by 11, and they quit making them. And these two colors were like the two colors on the very top of my list that I wanted to get, because they were like, it's the best two colors. Good tan brown, and it's kind of like it kind of reminds me like when I used to run my Etsy shop full time. I did a like a maker's bourbon bottle type thing, and it was called Aged Perfection, but that is like, that would be the label for it. And then this one right here, there's like this vintage, it's like best of vintage theme. I use this for the cassette tape and for a lot of the lettering. So when they discontinued these two colors, those were like my best sellers in my Etsy shop. And so these two colors were definitely on the top of my list. So today what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some of the new plain cardstock that launched last month. We're going to play around with that. We're doing a Father's Day card. And I'm just going to make a random Father's Day card at this point. But I think I'm going to do blues because you know, I say that I don't like the color blue, but then I always pull for blues, and my kitchen is blue. So I say my favorite color is pink. I mean, hello, my cup's pink. I love pink. But I always tend to pull for the blues, and today is going to be no exception. I'm going to pull for some blues. So we're going to work with these two colors right here. And this is going to be dusty blue and our dark navy that we have now. So we're going to move all of these out of the way. We're not going to use these. And honestly, you don't have to have the same colors as me. It's going to be your Father's Day card, so you can make them any color that you want. And then I'm also not going to use any of these today. However, if you've seen the SVG file, which I have seen that I've gotten 3 new orders for the SVG file, so good for you for picking it up. But if you've seen the SVG file, you see this like ugly yellow color. We're actually going to use this is how great my mirror cardstock is. Like, it is straight up mirror. The silver is like looking into a mirror. It's great. So we're actually going to use mirror gold because if you've seen that SVG file, it looks like a metal. So we're going to like a ribbon metal. So we're going to use that today. Also, hold on one second. I thought I pulled all the supplies, and clearly I didn't, because then I realized I'm missing acetate. Oh my goodness. And then also my silicone glue. I'll grab that here in a little bit. But you are also going to need a sheet of acetate. I can tell you right now, I do not use acetate. Everyone says to use acetate. Acetate is just thin plastic. That's just the fancy term for it. You can go ahead and buy acetate, like the actual name acetate. However, when you do, you're going to be paying more for it. These right here are clear transparencies that I get on Amazon, and they're also printable too, so you can print on them on your inkjet printer. I'm sure I can figure out a craft that I would need to like print on. Someone did like a really cool stained glass. Besides the point, if you're looking to save some money, just get yourself some clear transparencies. You can get these off Amazon for a huge pack. If you do not want to buy clear transparencies, like if that's just not what you want to do, and you don't want to spend any more money, those like clear sheets, the film that comes over the top of your Cricut mats, those like clear mats, just use that. That's what acetate is. That clear stuff, that film that's on your Cricut mat, it's the same thing. So you want to grab clear transparency, of some fashion, clear something. You also are going to need some silicone glue, but we'll get into all of that here in a little bit. But let's just go over into the Cricut Design Space and we'll do some design work. I already got it pulled up. And at this point, what you should have already done is gotten the SVG file, which I have seen that 3 people have gotten the SVG file, which is great. So you can follow along with me. Also for this project, let me just unhide. For this project, you are also going to need the Cricut pen. This comes with your Cricut. Every Cricut that I've ever purchased or have received has all came with a pen. You're going to need that. Well, I mean, not really. I'm going to show you how we're going to use the pen, but you don't technically need it. I would suggest you just have it, and you probably already have it because it comes with every single machine. And then you are also going to need a scoring tool. You can just get this off of Amazon for a couple bucks. I have a lot of them because I keep losing them. I never put them back where they belong. That is that's one of my toxic traits. Okay, so let's go into Cricut Design Space. And then all you want to do is open up a new window in Cricut Design Space. So you just want to click over here at New Project. Now what you want to do is press Upload. And then you want to go into Upload Image. Now, there is currently a bug in Cricut Design Space. Let me see. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to get myself situated. I don't know what I just did here. Okay, so there's a current bug in Cricut Design Space, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate it. But what you want to do at this point is you want to just click on the SVG file that I've created and that you've also downloaded, and you want to drag and drop it into Cricut Design Space. So my Cricut Design Space did not have any issues, but I can tell you that I have seen this issue quite a few times while, trying to figure out the new upload, because the new upload has definitely changed. It's caused a little bit of confusion for a lot of people. So, what was I trying to say? So if you were to upload this SVG file, in my other computer and then earlier yesterday, what I had seen was this error message, and it had all these letters and words, and it didn't make any sense. If this is your problem, if you're encountering this issue, what you want to do is switch out of whatever mode that you're currently in Cricut Design Space. How you do that is you click up here at your name, and then you go down into settings, and you see this application experience, where right now I'm in the beta version. If you are in the beta version and you're having an issue, switch over to the live version. I can tell you though that I've also seen this issue in the live version. So if you're also in the live version and you have this issue, then switch into beta mode. And I am notorious for switching in and out of these two modes. If I find that there's a glitch in one mode, I just switch to the next. It will re-download and it'll re-download to a new version, and it takes about a minute, 2 minutes to do that. But once I do that, for some reason it clears the error message, so then you can keep crafting and you're just on your way. So I always suggest doing that for any time that you are working with Cricut Design Space. It does not matter if you're I've seen a lot of people try and load up their projects into the make screen, and then they just get this spinning wheel of death type thing. If that's your case, then switch out of your mode. And if you say, well, I did that this morning, do it again. Just keep switching in and out until the error clears. It's been my tried and true method for so many years. It may just be me, but all I see are the flowers. Hold on. Let me... Okay, we're back, yeah? Yes, we are back. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I want to make sure that you can see everything that I'm doing. If there is ever an issue, let me know so I can help you out here. And I'm just going to make my screen a little bit smaller because it was very packed full. Okay, so now what you want to do, now that it's in your uploaded, you've dragged and dropped it into Cricut Design Space. This is what it's going to look like, and we can just press continue. And then you can rename this if you wanted to, but then you would just press upload. Sorry, I had to get a drink. And this is what the file is going to look like. It's going to look really strange, but that's okay because we're going to fix this. So the very first thing you want to do is right click and press ungroup. And I do want to mention here, I've created this card to end up being a 5x7 card. So if you wanted to resize this to a different size, what you would want to do is make sure and select everything and resize the card at this point. But I have this size to a 5x7, a finished 5x7. Right now, this big green rectangle says 10x7. It's because we fold it in half. This left side of our green rectangle is going to be the back side of our card. So the very first thing you want to do after you ungrouped it is you're going to see that this right here, if we open up this little caret, it is going to have the green rectangle with this random line. What you want to do is you want to right click this and press ungroup. Then what you want to do is come over here to the line. Just click the line on the right. It is set to a basic cut. What you want to do is click on that and you want to hit the score. What you just did is you changed this into a fold line, and that is what we need that scoring tool for. And then what you want to do is you want to click on the green rectangle, shift on your keyboard, and then also that dotted score line, and you want to press attach. Now you're going to see that everything moved forward, but that the line is exactly in the middle. What we just told the Cricut was, hey Cricut, we want to cut out our green rectangle in whatever color we end up choosing. We're going to recolor this later, but right now we want to cut out this green rectangle. And then we also want to put a score line right in the middle of this rectangle. Now, this is a very, very important step. If you did not press attach, most of the times what ends up happening, and I see it a lot in the crafting groups, is that they say, oh, this line did not stay where it was supposed to be in the make screen. Well, it's because you did not press attach. That group is different than attach. So just know that you want to press attach. That's what you're essentially telling the Cricut, hey, we are going to do this right here. Okay, now what we want to do is just arrange this to the back, and then we could move this out to the side just for right now. So this right here, I am going to actually glue this on top of my card. So I'm going to do 2 shades of blue, right? We've already decided I'm going to do 2 shades of blue. For the green, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing my dusty blue for that. And for this, I'm going to be doing my dark navy for this, or deep blue. So I'm just going to move this over and out of the way because I technically don't even need it. Now what I want to do is explain these layers right here because they are actually really, really, really important. So let me just select everything and move these over to the left so I can explain some of this to you. So for this particular SVG file, you're going to have and see, and let's just open up this carrot. You're going to see a bunch of little layers, and these are actually really, really, really crucial. So if we click on the very top layer of the of your ribbon and move this over, this is what's going to hide in all the ugly of our glue marks. Trust the process. You want to keep it. So we're going to move this over to the side. This is going to be what we glue all the ugly to. So then the next thing is going to be this light blue piece or weird circle thing. This right here is going to be our tiny sheet of acetate. This is that clear transparency that I was talking about. For me, whenever I do design work, I always do my acetate in a very, very light blue color. when I do it light blue, it automatically tells my brain I'm using acetate. If you choose a different color, like if you're doing something else, if you're doing acetate and you generally use acetate for a different color, then you want to change it to that color. But you just want to use the same color every single time. Every single project that I use, acetate is an extremely light blue. Donna, there is a glitch when using print and cut where it goes to make it matte, where it spins and tries to sort into layers. Cricut is aware this latest update has a few bugs. Every single update always has bugs, Donna. I don't, you just kind of try and work with the bugs, and by the end, you do always end up getting a finished product, but you do have to really, really try hard to work out all the bugs and do, new loopholes. Patty just ordered some of your glitter cardstock. So excited. I'm so excited for you because you got it at the cheapest price that we ever sell the cardstock. So I'm really excited for you to try it. Okay, so this right here you want to keep because this is going to be your sheet of acetate. So I'm going to move this out of the way. So the very next thing you're going to see is this donut looking thing. This right here is an optional piece, but I would use it. And let me go and grab the other option that we have here. So hold on. All right, so got my silicone glue. So the donut, that donut looking thing, when we cut that out, I'm actually going to cut out a bunch of those donuts because that is going to build the shaker portion of our card so we can fill it with glitter or with sequins or beads or whatever. There are two types of crafters here. Well, I guess there's three. There's three options that you can do. The two most popular ones are going to be the cardstock donuts, which is what I am going to do. Or the other popular option is getting some foam strips. This Fanciful Chaos, the lady who owns this shop, her name is Nancy, and she is thebomb.com. I'm just saying. But she has a store filled with different foam sheets, and I'm actually going to use some of her color foamies for this project here in a bit. But what a lot of other crafters do is they use these little foam strips, and they build their shaker that way so they don't have to use the cardstock doing layers of donuts. I call them donuts. They don't have to do layers of cardstock donuts. They could just do the foam. There is a and then the third option, which is not really the most popular, is cutting foam sheets on your Cricut and then gluing them just like you would the cardstock donuts. I am not a fan of cutting the foam on your Cricut because it has a tendency to tear. And I'm also not a fan of this because most of the time you can see the creasing. Like when you go to bend this, let's say this is the side of our card with our metal, and you were to bend this into a circle. What you would see is do you see how there's like crinkles into it? And this is on the smaller scale. But when you glue this to the side, when you put this on your side, this is what you're going to see on the side of your card or your shaker cake topper, or whatever it is that you're using. I don't prefer this method because I don't want people to see the ugliness from the back or even the side. Those two things, the front is definitely a very important, that's obviously going to be very important, but for me, the sides and the back matter. I don't like the sides of my back looking ugly. So for me, I don't like using the foam strips to do my shakers just because I don't want the sides to look ugly. But this right here definitely is easier and it uses less material. So there's that. I mean, there's always a preference here. I know a lot of crafters that use foam strips. And I do know that there are some crafters. I don't think Nancy sells them, but I do know that a lot, there is one other crafter that I know that sells the foam strips that are colored. Nancy, though, she has, and that's why I switched over to blue today, is because I don't have any of her green colored foamies, but she has all these colored foamies. So it's going to, so no matter if you look at this from the front or the side, you're going to be able to see some color, matching color. So it's an option. I know a lot of girls use the foam strips versus the cardstock donuts, but I'm just going to show you the cardstock donut way today. So what you want to do is I only made one copy of this donut, is you want to make multiple copies of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this donut and I'm going to move it over to the side, and I am going to make 4 of these. So copy and paste, and I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to copy and paste. You could do more donuts. You could do less donuts. It depends on what type of glitter you're going to be putting into your shaker. Obviously, if you're going to be using like really big perler beads, you're going to need to do more donuts. But 4 is okay. I think I'm just going to use like some really fine glitter, so it shouldn't matter to me too much. But I'm just going to do 4. Now, the fun part here is I'm going to show you a little trick when it comes to this. So I'm going to use some vinyl today for this number 1 dad, because frankly, I think that if I were to cut this out on like cardstock and glue it on there, like it would just be a pain in the rear end to try and assemble. And I am the crafter that definitely likes to do things, make it look really professional, but also try not to have me take a million years to assemble a card or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is with this, I am going to copy and paste. Now this is definitely optional. And I would say, like, if you didn't have the scoring tool, then don't do this, because you're going to need the scoring tool, but we're already going to be using it anyways for the middle of the green on this card. So you might as well just do this step, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I copied and pasted it, and I'm going to move this over here to the left. And there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click this and I'm going to press ungroup. For this one right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the number 1 dad. Same type of concept that we did with the score line when we had to change it from a basic cut to a score line. What I need to do now is come over here to basic cut. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to change it into score. Essentially what we are doing is we are going to tell ourselves and remind ourselves where in the world we are going to place this number 1 dad, because the last thing you want to do is place this vinyl into the back of your metal, assemble your entire shaker cake topper, and then it not line up and you won't be able to read it. So you want to make sure and do this step just so we can ensure that we know the exact placement of where we're putting our vinyl. So now what I want to do is I'm going to select the yellow starburst looking thing and then also my score line, doing the same thing we did with that green rectangle. We want to press attach. We want to tell the Cricut we want to cut this out, but we also want to score on top of where we put that number 1 dad thing. So now going over here to the original one, what I want to do is I just want to take this, right click and press ungroup. I want this number 1 dad right here because we got rid of it, right? It's not even over here anymore because it's now a score. So I want to keep this. I'm going to just drag this over here. Now I do not need this. I can actually delete this because I already have it over here on the right. So we're just going to delete that. Okay, and then everything else we can keep. We're not going to do any changes. You're going to see that the very back and these little ribbon things are not connected. It's because I'm going to use some of Nancy's foamies to build a little bit of dimension and layers, because, you know, just having a shaker isn't enough. We need to I'm just joking. If you don't know my humor, I am just joking. I just, you know, I struggle with finding a equal balance between too much and not enough, and I'm gonna go too much. I'm probably, by the end of this, I'm gonna be like, oh, I probably shouldn't have used the colored foamies. I'm gonna do them anyways because I love using colored foamies. So doing a shaker for me is not enough. We're gonna add some foamies into this. This is why those 3 pieces are all separated. Okay, so at this point, what you want to do is change over your colors to the colors that you're going to be using, just so we see on our screen what we like. That is definitely really important, because you don't want to build your hard thinking that you're going to be using green and white and yellow and it not end up, and we're going to be using blue. I'm going to be using blue. So you want to change this over just so we can visually see, like, do we like it? Do we like this color scheme or not? So what I want to do is I am going to change the dark green. So I'm going to, we're going to go and find the dark green over here. I'm going to click this, shift on my keyboard, and then also my other green. So I only have 2 pieces of green. And I want this to be my dusty blue color. So I'm going to click on the green and I'm going to change it over to like a dusty blue color. That looks good. Actually, I think I chose really well for my very first time. The color match there looks really good. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to change the whites over. So shift on my keyboard. I'm going to click this white rectangle and these circles. And I'm going to change this over into a... Actually, I'm going to change this over into dark blue. Yeah. I'm going to change this over to, let me see. I'm going to keep it white. I'm actually going to keep this white. The reason for that is because my mirror cardstock is white on the back. And so when we cut this out, because it's going to be built on top of the marigold cardstock, since the white is on the back, you're going to see the white showing through on the sides because it's not solid core. That's the difference between solid core and not solid core, is that you're going to be able to see white on the sides. So if I were to do like this color or something else, it would just look really weird because the front layer and the back layer are going to be mirrored cardstock and they're going to be white on the side. So I'm going to keep it plain white. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to use the pen feature. So we're going to move all of this over here. I like the look of this. I like the colors. The funky yellow, I just need to trust the fact that I know that it's going to, I've picked the colors and the colors look good to me with the 2 sheets of blue and the marigold. So I think we'll be okay. You know what I mean? I think it'll look really good. So now what I want to do is use the pen feature. I'm just going to zoom in and I'm going to zoom in on this rectangle right here. And bloop, bloop, bloop. Move this over to the left. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to insert a text box. We're just going to click on the text. And here is the new text box. Why don't we just, for right now, I'm going to put in Happy Father's Day. Oops. Happy Father's Day. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here into font. And I can tell you right now that when we use the pen, you're looking for a single lined font. And what I was going to tell you is it's very hard to find a single line font for free. It's very difficult to find a single line font. So anytime I'm using the pen and I'm using it with the Cricut, I'm using the pen, I always just use a Cricut font because they do have single line fonts in here. What you want to do is you want to come up here to these lines right here and click on it. Oh, a little fun little fact, because I noticed that some people don't know this. If you are using the text box and let's say this box is like over here and it covers your font, you can just move this around. You can move it wherever. I'm kind of hoping they do this with that contour box because that's amazing. If they can do it with this, I feel like they can do it with the contour box because sometimes that contour box is like, you know, covering what you're trying to contour. Okay, so then we're going to press these lines right here and we want to do a writing font. So you're going to click on writing and then you're just going to give the Cricut a little bit of time. It's like, oh, you saw it thinking. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to click on a font. Just click on any font. So you can see that when we clicked on the font up here in the operation, it got changed over to pen. That's exactly what we wanted. And you can see that my font looks exactly like it should. However, let's click on something that is, I don't know if we're going to be able to find one. Hopefully they got rid of it because for a while there they had them mixed and matched. where we had some bubble letters. Okay, they may have gotten rid of the glitch, hallelujah, because that was the most frustrating part of making sure that this all looked good. What about this one? Okay, cool. They got rid of the glitch. So before, when you would do, oh no, here we go. What is this? Spring break. Prime example. This is exactly what I was talking about. So do you see how this particular font looks like a bubble? In our finished product, your finished product will look like a bubble. If you do not like the look of this, there is a hack that I show you in a different video. I'm not going to do it for this one because there's plenty of single line fonts that don't look like bubbles that we can use. But if you're like hard up and you really want to use this font, there are hacks, and I do have a full video on how to take a bubble letter and make it filled in. Just know, I feel like you could probably find another font that you like. But, you know, your project is your project. You do what you do you. Okay, so I just want you to know, though, that if you were to like this font and keep it the way it is, your font is going to look like that when we go to make this out. So if you wanted this and you were like, oh, I'm just going to do it, hopefully it fills it in, it won't. It won't. It'll look exactly the way it looks like on your screen. So if you are not happy with your font looking the way it is, then you need to keep looking for a single line font that looks like it's supposed to. The Cricut is taking forever to load. Or you need to do that little font hack that I was telling you about. Okay, I'm going to go back to the very top because there was like a font that I had chosen earlier that I just randomly kicked that I like. I probably am not going to be able to find it now. Oh, here's another one that is a bubble letter. What font was that I had? Was it Haystacks? Yes. I don't think it was Haystacks, but you know what? I'm going to use it. Okay, so I'm going to click this out. I'm going to click out of the box because what I want to do is I want to put this onto my card. I am going to keep it on the right side of this score line because this score line is going to be what folds our card in half. Everything, like, let's pretend that this is a book. And sometimes we have to think like outside of the box. Right now, this card, this is what it looks like on our computer screen, and there is a line that's down here. So we're going to fold our card in half. This is going to be the front. This is going to be the back. Your writing is going to be on the right side, and then everything that's on the left, just like a traditional card would read. So you want to make sure and keep everything to the right of your score line. Now, if you wanted to add more lettering, wording, you totally could. I think I'm just going to make 3 lines here. Oh, what happened? Cricut's going bonkers. There we go. I'm going to make 3 lines, and then I am just going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm not going to do any fancy, like wording or anything like that. So one thing I would like to note here is that if you are using, let's say, let me just do another one here. Let's say you have 2 text boxes and you have 2 different colors of pens for your Cricut, and you wanted to do like black for Happy Father's Day and for your name or whatever else, you wanted to change it to a different color, you totally could. You can come up here to this little it's like a box. It's like a swatch color. I don't know what to call that. But generally, I'm like, oh, the black box. But it's not really black. It's a black and white box. So what you would do is click on that up at the very top. And then you could pick whatever color it is that you're going to use. So you want to make sure and choose your colors. If you're only using black, if you're only using one color, it truly doesn't matter what color you end up choosing for your card, but it only really matters when you are going to be doing like 2 or more colors, just so you know what pens to insert into your card, into your Cricut at a certain time, because the Cricut will tell you. The Cricut will tell you, hey, you need to put in the black pen. We wrote with the black pen. Now you need to put in the red pen, and now you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to delete. I'm just going to leave a little area for me to potentially handwrite in there. Okay, the other thing too is, let's say you don't like the line spacings of this and you want to make it like tighter, or like your letter spacings, you can change up the letter space right here, and like you could go down and it would make it tighter. You could take the line spacing and you can make it smaller. This one tends to go a lot slower than the letter spacing. The other thing too is you can come up here into advanced, and you can advance to letters or advance to lines. And that would, like, for the, I normally use this for the lines, because the lines just take so dang long to, you know, squish together. So you could totally do that. Okay. When you have your lettering, whatever lettering, it doesn't matter what you have on your card, whatever you have written on your card that you want to be written on your card, and you're done and you are satisfied with how it looks on your card. What you want to do is the same thing we did with the score line of this rectangle initially. You want to select the Happy Father's Day or whatever writing you're doing. You want to also select your rectangle that has that line attached, and you want to come down here and press attach. What we just told the Cricut is not only do we want to cut out a blue rectangle, we also want to score on top of that rectangle right down the middle. Then what we want to do is we also want to write Happy Father's Day all on this card. And that's what it's all going to be on one rectangle. Okay, does anyone have any questions before I keep going? I have not seen any new comments jump in. So we are done with the design process. So let me know if you have any questions so far, and then we can go to cut this out. It's going to be really quick and easy to cut and assemble because we don't have a whole lot of pieces today. Let me know if you need any help with anything. Also on this note, because Cricut's notorious for crashing, just make sure and save your work, because the last thing you want to do is get like halfway through cutting and it not work, and then it crashes, and then you're you know, having to start all over from square one. Okay, no one has any questions, so I am going to move on, and we're just going to go over here to make. And just like any other time we do cut on the Cricut, we want to make sure and conserve on space. So if there's anything like this right here, I can move this up here, and I can just change the look of this just a little bit. Want to make sure that none of your cutouts are touching, but, oh, what do we got here? Can I put this on the first on this mat? I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but let's just try. So I'm going to click these three dots here on mat 6 and go move object. And I'm going to come up here to 5 and press confirm. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to like twist this around, and I'm going to see if I can. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it on here. I mean, I could make my card smaller, but I've like sized it to be perfect for 5x7. No. Bummer. I'm going to have to use 2 sheets of this. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay, as long as I tried. I wanted to make sure and not waste any material. Okay. And we only got one dark blue. We are good to go. We're going to do white. Okay, so I need to pull white. And at this point, what you want to do is pull all your cardstock. So we need a white, and I need black vinyl. And so for my project, what I'm going to be using is some tack wrap vinyl. I love tack wrap vinyl. It's going to be super easy to weed. Tack wrap vinyl is amazing, but I'm looking for black. I have all these like small sample sheets. I don't think I have black in there, but I am going to need some transfer tape. That is essential. And, okay, got some black vinyl right here. Mostly all Tech Wrap vinyl has a protective sheet over the top of it. You just want to make sure, because I always forget to take this off. I mean, blacks, obviously you could tell that, hey, there's vinyl, there's like a protective layer. But recently I cut some holographic vinyl on the Cricut, and I thought I had taken the protective layer off. I cut it all out and then quickly realized that I did not take the protective layer, and so I had to recut. So if you're using Tech Wrap vinyl, you just want to make sure and peel the protective layer off your vinyl before you cut this. So otherwise that you're going to have an issue. Like me. So I'm just going to take the corner, and there is, I think they do that so it avoids scratches during shipment, but I would, you know, it's the only brand of vinyl that has that protective layer. No other vinyl does that. Okay, so we have this. I need some white. I need a sheet of gold. I need my acetate. And 2 sheets of the blue, the lighter blue. Here, let me make me smaller so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, then we need 2 sheets of the lighter blue. And I like doing it this way, like stacking up all my material. I still need to go grab my my white, but let's see here. I like grabbing all of my material and then just sliding it underneath my Cricut mat, because it just keeps everything, you know, going and flowing. So you don't have to stop what you're doing and pick out another sheet. You're doing all the hard work right now. Okay, let me see. I have this like really thick, this is like 11 by 17 cardstock to do like a really large print then cut. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of it. Do I need 12 inches? Did I cut this short? I'm pretty sure I just cut this short. Poop. Hold on. Try it again. I got another random piece of it. So this, I love doing like 11 by 17 print then cuts, and this stuff is like really thick. Kind of a pain in the butt for the Cricut to cut, but I'm gonna use it anyways. Okay, so you want to make sure that everything is in order. So for me, mat 1 is going to be the white. Mat 2 is going to be my black vinyl. We have the mirror gold. We have the sheet of acetate. Remember, I used light blue as my sheet of acetate. And then you need the 2, I'm going to be using the 2 light blues and then the 1 darker blue. Okay. So at this point, what you want to do, I'm going to move this out of the way, clean up my desk a little bit. We're going to start cutting on our Cricut. We're going to pull this out, open up our Cricut. We want to make sure that we are on, make sure we are on mat 1. And then press continue. Okay, and then yesterday I did not clean my mats off after we got done crafting, so I need to do that now. This little scraping tool is absolutely, like, it's a godsend when you're using, when you're doing cardstock crafts, because it really quickly takes away all those small little scrap pieces of paper, because that right there will absolutely ruin your cuts on your cardstock if you don't clean your mats with the debris. You will notice that my mats look dirty. They are, but at least there's not, well, this one is not a good example, but like once I cleaned off the scrap paper, it may be dirty, but there's no like scraps on there. That's what causes issues when you're doing cuts with your Cricut. Okay, so I've loaded this into my Cricut. Now, I'm sure that you know, and I'm sure that you've heard, I have zero patience for slow crafting. So I always use the fast cut mode when I'm using anytime I'm using the Cricut, I always use fast cut mode. If there's a material that doesn't use fast cut mode or can't cut on fast cut, I just don't use it. I just don't use the material. And then I just press the blinking C button. You know, I was just thinking about my daughter, because she just graduated Oops, I didn't realize that it was blocking it. Today is her last day of school. She's a graduating senior. And I was thinking, like, I was feeling all melancholy today. But so I was thinking about, like, God and, like, how he blessed me. He just blessed me with some really cool people in my life. You know, my daughter, he gave me her because he knew I needed some unconditional love. And then he gave my son because he knew I needed to learn patience. So, and then he gave my husband because he just knew it was time for me to find true love. Okay, so I'm just going to double check, because this 11 by 17 cardstock is on the thicker side. I always like to check to make sure that it cut really good, and it did, so we're good to go. If it did not, don't you have like 15 cutting machines? I do. The reason why I have so many is because I don't have patience. And so when one's cutting, I want to be doing something else, so I just keep cutting. You know what I mean? Okay, so if your cardstock did not cut well, you want to make sure and not be tempted on the eject button. You want to press the C button again, and the Cricut will suck the mat back in. But for me, I don't have that issue, so I'm just going to move this out to the side. You know what? I'm finishing the weeding process up here, and I don't know why, because I have to eject it now anyhow. Okay, so we are switching out material. When you switch out material, you want to make sure and adjust your cut settings. Now what I'm going to be using is vinyl, just standard vinyl. So I'm going to turn my dial over, and you're not going to be able to see it. I got the zoom in too zoomy today. But you want to turn the dial on your Cricut over to the vinyl mode. On your computer screen, it should read vinyl. If it reads something else, like paper plus, that means you're not cutting on the correct setting. So you want to make sure that what is on your dial says on the computer screen, and vice versa. You want the two things to line up. And this also uses the fast cut mode. Yes. So I'm going to press that blinking C button, and we're going to cut on that. For the next mat, we have the mirror gold. So I'm going to just reach underneath my mat, and I'm going to do the mirror gold. Load this in to my second mat. I always have two mats. That is one thing that I always do. So with my 15 Cricuts, I always have two mats for each Cricut. I'm insane. It might be the ADHD in me. I don't know. I've never actually been diagnosed with ADHD, but some people think that I have too much energy, and I probably do have ADHD. I couldn't tell you. Okay, so now, because we switched materials, you always want to make sure, and hold on. You think you're prepared, and then you find out quickly that you're not. You always want to make sure and test out your weeds. So just the same thing that I did with that white cardstock, I want to make sure that my cut settings were good. And everything's weeding. Number one, Dad looks fabulous. I like the fact that it's weeding great. So because I'm satisfied with my cut, I'm now going to eject it. We're going to switch to the next mat. The next mat is going to be the mirror gold cardstock. We switched materials, so we want to make sure and switch our cut settings over. And for my mirror cardstocks, my specialty cardstocks, and my gold and my glitter cardstocks, I always use Cardstock Plus on my Cricut. I truly only use the Cricut Explore Air 2. I have a Joy, but for most of the projects that I am using or cutting, the Joy is just too small. It's so cute. I love her because she's miniature, but she's just too small for my projects that I do. Okay, so I'm gonna roll this away, and I'm just gonna pull out my stuff. Ooh, you know what? Hold on. Hold the phone. Oops. This is gonna be a prime example. This is why I try not to talk and craft at the same time, because I just messed up. So in the mirror gold, and no one stopped me. No one saw my computer screen said something else. So that's fine. I'm going to blame you. I'm blaming you for my mess up, but it's okay because we didn't mess this up. So the same thing when I told you about the cut settings not being good. technically this was supposed to score on top of that gold medallion, the #1 get, because remember, I want to know like where to put this. And I didn't have the scoring tool in my Cricut. That's a problem, right? There's no score here. That's because it wasn't in here. So before I eject this, because I messed up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my scoring tool into clamp A. Don't eject your mat. Resist the urge to press that blinking button, and we're just going to close this up. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the C button. The C button, the one that's not blinking. So we're going to press that, and it's going to suck it back up again. And it's going to do the score just like it was supposed to the first time, but I was crafting and chatting at the same time, and my brain doesn't work like that. Okay, so while I wait for that to finally finish, I am just going to weed out the vinyl. This is my hands have to keep busy. Okay, before this cuts again, I'm going to pause it. Making sure before I eject it, okay, my cut is good. My cut's good, so I'm happy. I'm going to eject this now because I don't need it to recut. If this cut crappy, just like, you know, what I said for the other two materials, I would have just kept it going, but I don't technically have to do that. However, when you do stuff like this, like what I just did, most of the time the Cricut's pretty automated and it would move over to the next mat because it was done cutting, but I stopped it in the middle of this cut, so the Cricut technically thinks I don't have a finished cut here, which I do. So I'm just going to manually click on the next sheet. The next sheet is acetate. And clear transparency is going onto a mat. It's not going to look like a whole lot because it's clear, but we are just going to load this up into the Cricut. You can kind of see it. Can you see that outline? Okay, for acetate, it is transparencies, acetate, clear film, whatever. It's kind of a pain in the butt to cut because it wants to lift on you. It doesn't really grab on the Cricut mats very well. I always like to just like put my finger down in the corner because the corner seems to be what pulls up the most. Thankfully, I didn't have any issues. And there is my circle right there. We're going to set that to the side. Okay, we got two mats. Let me see. This one right here, it says on the Cricut, it says first and foremost, you need to put in your scoring tool. So the very first thing you need to load into your Cricut is a scoring tool. I already have it in there from the Mirror Gold, so I don't have to load it in again. So I'm just going to load this into the Cricut, keeping this in here, and I'm going to press the blinking C button. Okay, now that it's done, your Cricut's going to stop and it is going to say, okay, you need to load in the pen now. So what you want to do is don't touch anything on this side of the Cricut. You just want to unload the scoring tool from clamp A and put it in your pen into clamp A. You want to hear it click. Once you do that, then you just want to close the clamp. Then you want to press the blinking C button. Okay, the Cricut is going to do its its writing. Most of the time I'm thinking that it does like it's casting a spell. Today we are casting some spell on this on this card because all the letters they don't really cut like they're supposed to in the order. Like we should cut. I feel like it would be more time efficient. I feel like it would be more time efficient if it just cut like it was supposed to. From left to right, just like you would as if you were writing that. My daughter just got home from school. She is done. She is a graduated girl. Well, technically her graduation is in 2 weeks, but she is done. She doesn't have any more school duties left over. I'm so proud of her. Oh, my word. And then she's off to college in the fall. Okay, so the Cricut's done with the pen. Now it is just going to cut out the card. Okay, when this is done, make sure, in just getting good practice of taking the pen out and putting the cap back on your pen. I have ruined so many of these pens because I forget to take the pen out, just like I forget to put my scoring tool back where it's supposed to go. I forget to take my pen out, and then I have to buy a whole new pen, or a new Cricut, I guess. My solution to this is fine, I'll just buy a new Cricut. I'm just joking. We're going to press the blink and see button, and we're just going to keep cutting our cardstock out until we run out of cardstock. This turned out so cute. Look at that. And then you have that little score line right there, right in the middle. It's going to be an easy fold. So eject that. And we got this going in. Karen, did you hold your finger under when clicking in the pen? My machine gets angry when I click it in. When this is done, I could not honestly tell you what I do because I do this so much out of muscle memory. I don't know what I do most of the time. Okay. If I were to load in the pen, I would open this up. Yes. And I would just click. Yeah. So that's what I do. I like hold it up with my finger and then click. That's what I do. Because I think if you do, you could do it like that. I have heard though, I've done it once like that where you like do, and then the Cricut goes, and it's like, whoa, hello. So I always just like to hold on to it. Like muscle memory. That was a good question because I'm like, I don't know what I do. I've been doing it for so many years. It just kind of like, I just do things. Okay, so now that we are done cutting with the Cricut, technically for me, the Cricut still says that I need to cut out that marigold cardstock. It's because I stopped it midway through the cut, but I have the finished pieces, so I don't need to do that. So I'm just going to cancel the cut and press yes. Again, the Cricut's going to say, yo, you didn't finish cutting. And I'm going to say, yeah, I did. Don't worry about it. Mind your business, you know? Okay, we're going to move this out to the side. And then we can just get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. Now we're just going to assemble. And the assembly to this is really, really, really easy. Really easy. So very first thing you want to do is, if you haven't already, is you want to weed out your vinyl. Donna, it is so happy and excited for graduation and sadness as they fly off from the nest to make their way into the world. Congratulations to all of you. I have to tell you that I told her the other day, I was like, I want to move. I want to move. I'm going to move with her. She's going back to Lexington. We used to live near Lexington almost 4 years ago, and so she's going to UK for college. And this mom, I love Kentucky. I loved living in Kentucky. My best friends live there. It's just I'm like, oh, I'll go. Yes, I know that sound. I'm so glad that you can appreciate my sound effects, because there's not a whole lot of people that really like my husband. We've been together for many, many years. I use sound effects, and he's like, I don't understand. I'm like, come on now. But I'm glad you know. My sound effects triggered a memory for you. Okay, so I weeded out my vinyl and then put transfer tape over the top of my vinyl. And I'm just using my fingernail to kind of like rub hard on my transfer tape. This is like putting it on the vinyl. I'm going to roll this over. And then what I'm going to do is peel my backing of my vinyl away from my transfer tape. It should have just stuck, like shouldn't have anything left over here. Okay, now what we're going to do is, remember when we did the scoring tool and we lined up and made sure that this right here, you can see it's like nice and scored on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scoring tool as a guide to where I'm going to put this. So You just want to make sure you have it lined up. I have to concentrate, so I can't talk at the same time. Okay, when I'm done doing that, you just want to press down and then roll your vinyl. Oop, I didn't want to press too hard because I didn't want to ruin my mirror or like leave any gunk on it. But you just want to roll away the vinyl from your cardstock or the transfer tape, leaving the vinyl on your cardstock. My goodness. My 2024 plans have now changed. My new goal for this year is to learn how to craft and talk at the same exact time. It's like my brain just goes blah. Okay. My daughter graduates in 2 years from high school. She's already asked if I can move to be close to her if she goes away from college. Jen, bless her. My daughter said she doesn't want us to move close to her. She's like, no, you can stay here. Okay. I am going to just dry assemble all of this stuff just to make sure it looks good together. I want to make sure that we have, when we assemble this, that all of our pieces are going to line up and look good, you know? Okay. I should have done this. Looks good with this. Okay. And then this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I generally do this totally different, but I'm going to do it like this today. So I'm going to actually glue my donuts together first. So when you do your shaker, when you do the shaker portion, what I would suggest using is some silicone glue. It's a gap filler, but this also will glue your plastic. Most of the cardstock glues that we have and that we use aren't strong enough. The bond is not strong enough to hold onto plastic. And like if you use hot glue, it dries. And when it first initially dries, there is a bond there. But the glue on hot glue gets very rigid and it will bend and crack and then peel away. So using silicone glue is my go-to glue. The actual glue that I use, the big bottle, is somewhere else. I refill into these smaller things because most of the shaker things that I'm using, do you see how like small this this like donut is? So I like to rebottle so it there's less glue mess. I don't want glue everywhere, you know? Okay, so if you chose to go my method, and my method was the donut method, what you want to do is put your silicone glue around the entire donut. Don't skip and only do, you know, if you've watched any of my videos, you do know I'm like, a little glue goes a long way. And I don't use a whole lot of glue, but when it comes to silicone glue, what I, especially if you're going to be doing a shaker cake topper, is you want to make sure that there's no breaks in your glue. So I'm going to hold this up so you can see it a little bit closer. But you're going to hopefully you're going to be able to see that there is glue in like a continuous line with no breaks in it all the way around. That's crucial because we don't want our glitter or sequins or whatever to come out of our card, because that would be annoying. Okay, then I'm just going to take another donut. So I have 2 donuts here, and I'm going to glue these together, making sure it's all lined up. Now this glue does dry clear, so we are okay with like getting glue in places because it is going to dry clear. But you want to make sure and smoosh them together. What you're doing is you're creating a nice tight bond in your donut layer. So your shaker stuff, your glitter, your sequins, whatever, doesn't come out, okay? When that's done, then what you want to do is taking more silicone glue, and you just want to add in more glue to the top of your donut. Doing the same thing, you want to make sure you have a continuous glue line around the entire thing. If there is a break in the glue, you are probably going to have a little area where your glitter is going to be able to come out. And if your glitter comes out, then your shaker is going to not be a shaker. It's going to be an empty shaker because it's going to find a way. It's going to find a way to come out eventually. Okay, when I have my glue on there, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but it's in there. Then you're just going to add in your next donut, doing the same process. Oops, excuse me. I am beyond thirsty today. I'm so tired, so thirsty. And then we're just going to squish these together. Want to make sure it's a nice tight bond. And what I'm doing is I'm also like dragging my finger across the inside of the donut because you're going to be able to see that from their shaker portion. So I want to make sure that there's no like clumps of glue, you know, like the silicone balls. I want to make sure that those are not in there. Okay, I only have one more donut, so I'm going to glue that. Whoops. One more ring of glue around the entire thing. Okay. And then I'm going to add in the next donut. Oop. Okay, it's nice and lined up. Now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to smush them together. Like the smush. Okay, and then I'm going to clean up the edges, just like I did for everything else. Clean up my hand. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Now we are going to do the shaker. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to just do one thing. A little bit of glue, but you want to make sure that it's not like a broken stream. So there's no stream on broken stream. Evelyn, my son graduated last Saturday. He is now a doctor of pharmacy and he gets married this Sunday. Wow, your son has had a busy week, but congratulations to him. My goodness, good for him. So Donna, I realized that when I was doing the design with you that I forgot to add in the score line for the donut. That was like a crucial step into this. I probably should have. I should have done the donut because now I'm going to be doing this backwards. And I don't like doing things backwards. But the same concept, what Donna's asking, and she is correct, when we added the score line for the number one dad, what we should have also done is added a score line for where the donut needed to be placed. Because at this point, what I'm trying to do is make sure that everything is going to look good. But see, this right here also has to line up perfectly too. I'm going to have to figure this one out. I can figure it out from this side. So we're okay. We're going to be all right. But yes, Donna is 100% accurate. We should have. Okay, this is going to be, no, that's not the top. We should have added the score line into this very backer piece. Is this it? Okay, so this is my top. Let me see. How am I going to do this? I'm just going to add in a little dot. Okay. So I know where the top is. The top is like, I don't know if you're going to see. I just put like a little poke hole right there. Because I'm going to have to assemble this upside down now. Waiting at the doctor. Sandy, I shipped your cake topper out today too. Happy early birthday. I made Sandy a cake topper the other day on live. Okay, so I just added a little bit of glue onto the backside. You don't have to have a perfect ring around this one because it's art. Like, this is going to be the very top of your shaker. You just want to make sure to have glue. You want to use the silicone glue because the regular traditional cardstock glue won't work for this. Then what you want to do is just put this on top of, and you want to make sure that see how there's no like overhang? You don't want to see the white. I now have shaky hands, and the more score alignments I have, the better my product is going to look. Amen. And I should have done that. When I first started to assemble the shaker, I was like, poop, I forgot a step. I mean, we're still going to have we're still going to have a finished product that ends up looking really good. We just had to do things backwards. And, you know, I don't prefer to do things backwards, but that's fine. Okay. So with the silicone glue, I love using the silicone glue because traditional paper glue would do the same. But I had just a little bit of glue, silicone glue on my mirror cardstock, and I just rubbed my finger over the top and like buffed off the glue. So we are doing good. So then the top, where is the top? The top of my thing is right here. There's like a little pinhole. I put a pinhole right there. And it's right here. The top is going to be right there. Let's see. We're going to assemble this upside down, which is not ideal, but we're going to do it anyways. Hold on. Okay, I got, what brand of silicone glue do you use? It's Super Tight's all-purpose silicone glue. So it's the same brand as my cardstock glue, just rebottled. I rebottled it into this because the nozzle is so thick, it just gets everywhere. So I think I am going to use this blue stuff. I think it matches better than the ultra light blue. This bright blue reminds me of my glitter cardstock. Let's see here. Now that I have that. Oh, look at it. Do you see that? This is the same color. Practically the same color. So if you have the jumbo glitter from Michaels, this blue matches the blue. Whoa, this purple matches the purple. This magenta matches the magenta. Heck yes. Look at that. That's cool. I like when things match. I don't think I'm going to because it's too bright. I think it's too bright. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use this one. I'm okay with this. All right, doing it backwards. We're going to hope it works. Where's the top at? The top is right there. There's the top. The top is right there. So we are going to shake in our shaker stuff. Okay. Then what I'm going to do you sell the glue in your cardstock shop? I do not, and I should. I should sell the glue in my cardstock shop. Maybe this is going to be, I was talking to my husband about this recently because now that I have you all here, I'm going to tell you a secret. Are you ready to hear a secret? I need to know. Do you want to hear a secret? And I can show you my secret. Since you're here, I can show you my secret because I am working on something else that's not cardstock right at this moment. So if you want to hear the secret, let me know. But I don't currently sell the glue. Of course. Okay. Let me go and get it. Let me go get the secret. Tell us. Yes. Okay, hold on. Okay, Okay, so a little backstory to this is I was over at Makers Gonna Learn Studios in February, and I was sitting around the table with everyone, the entire Makers Gonna Learn family, and they were complaining that the advanced tape gun glider thing has been sold out everywhere and that you can't get refills and blah blah blah. This right here is just, I just want to let you know that this is a prototype. I'm customizing the color to the glider and then the tape, but currently right now I'm in the works of making my own tape gun. So it looks, long story to this is Scotch, the 3M, the actual 3M company owns the patent on this right here. So I am working with someone to buy the patent, and then I'm customizing the color to be on brand. So I have like a pink color, and right now this tape that's in here, I'm customizing the tape. This is the hardest part to this because, hold on, let me show you. So what's very important to me is, and I'm just going to move this out to the side just so, we can just keep chatting. But what's very important to me about this tape is that this tape will work. Because yesterday, remember when we were gluing the Memorial Day stuff, and this glue right here is so strong that it will hold a glitter to glitter. So right now, this is not going to work. But right now, what I'm looking for and what I'm customizing, and I'm customizing with this Super Tight company, is the strength of the glue. So right now, the glue is not strong enough to hold glitter cardstock to glitter cardstock. It will hold plain cardstock to plain cardstock. However, I want to try and eliminate this glue. If I can eliminate this glue, I do love this glue. I helped create this glue. But if I can eliminate this glue and only have this, and that's it, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be amazing? It would be amazing because this would also work for your acid, like it would also eliminate your silicone glue. So I'm currently right now, we already have the color picked out for the tape gun, but currently right now what we're doing is I am going back and forth with different like adhesive levels, adhesive strength levels. There's a lot of random stuff that wouldn't you still need the glue for the really fine work? You could still need the glue for really fine work. The other thing that you could use instead of using that is you would there's like an adhesive. It kind of looks like this, and this is poster putty, but it's like an adhesive eraser, and you could erase the adhesive off. So you could still use the precision craft glue, but wouldn't it be amazing to like not have that? So anyways, right now I've been working on this since February. It is now May, and we're not, clearly this is a prototype. It's not, I don't like the color, but the one thing that is holding us back from doing anything more is the strength and adhesive, because I want these two to be stuck together. So that's a little secret. That's what I'm working on. Something that is not cardstock, but like marries well with what I have going on in the cardstock shop, right? You need glue for your cardstock. But yeah, so I just blew really hard and then blew all of my glitter out of the thing. Did you see that? So anyways, Tanner's like, oh my gosh, Ashley, if you could figure it out, that would be amazing. We need this. And I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. So I have been working since February when I left there. And he knows. I've been chatting up with him about it a little bit. Texting him back and forth about different videos and ideas and strengths and stuff like that. So it's actually really exciting. And the fact that he's not said anything on his channel is even better for me. He's keeping my secrets. So just a little insider thing. There's a lot of moving parts that go on in my life that I just don't talk about. Sometimes, this may not happen, and and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But it would be nice if it did. You know what I mean? Okay, and I moved this around a little bit, so now I'm gonna have the not fun time trying to line this up again. Oh my gosh. Let's find that top again. Right, the top is right there. And this is the top, is right there. So this should line up. Ooh, that wasn't very hard. Okay. I don't like doing things backwards, but you know. That would speed things up so much. It totally would. That's kind of like the thought process is I was like, would people buy that? And Tanner's like, yes, people would buy that because it speeds things up. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll start looking for it. Okay, and let's turn this around. So I have it nice and lined up. I did a really good job doing that little that like, you can see it. Can you see it right there on the back? There's like this little pin prick that's right here. I just lined up the two pieces of cardstock and used my weighting tool and just kind of like picked both of the cardstocks. Okay. Oh man, I put too much glitter on this. Because now it covered the number one dad. You know, so you remember what I said? I have a hard time doing like less is more. Prime example. Okay, but that's okay. So if you haven't assembled this already, less is more, y'all. Don't put a whole lot of glitter. And when I blew out the glitter, that was a blessing in disguise. I just didn't blow hard enough. I quit breathing. All right. Going back over here, I'm going to use some of Nancy's foamies to do some of the assembly of this. I am going to just line this up. We'll get there. Is that it? Yeah, this is it. Okay. I'm going to use cardstock glue for this. I love that you are making actual cards now. So I have, the other thing that Tanner convinced me to do was to make cards. I had never made a card before. Before going to his place, I had never made a card. And next thing you know, he's like, you've never made a card? I'm like, nope. And now I'm like, I've made so many. It's kind of addicting. They are kind of addicting. So I used a little bit of precision craft glue. And I just laid that into the, like, just in the center of this. Did I line this up correctly? Crafting and chatting is not my forte. I promise to get better. Okay, so I just put a little bit of glue. You can kind of see it. When it dries, it will dry and you won't have the wrinkles, but it's right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of Nancy's foamies. And I'm just going to put some foamies. I'm going to use blue because I have a blue background. We're going to matchy match. Oh. And I'm just going to take two little pieces. You don't need a whole lot of foam. My favorite card that I have made so far is that piñata card. The piñata card that I made is by far my most favorite card ever. And I actually still have it because I was going to give it to the hubs for his birthday. And he doesn't watch my YouTube videos, so he doesn't even know that I made it. He doesn't watch any of my stuff, and I never showed him. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to give it to you for your birthday. Okay, we're going to put this right here. So I did the foamies, and when I added it, you can see that there's like a little bit of dimension. Remember what I said? Like, it wasn't enough to do a shaker. We got to do a little bit more, you know? So when you do it on the side, you can see that we have blue foam next to blue cardstock. So it blends together. It looks nice and clean throughout. Love it. Okay, now what we want to do is also bring this and how am I assembling this? Ugh, find another. Where's the top at? Top is right here. The top is right there. There we go. Okay, I need to now put more foam on this one. So I did one piece of foam on these. I'm going to do two. So I'm going to do one, put that down, and then peel off the paper backing, and I'm going to do a second one on top. And then I'm going to do that in multiple areas because this one is a little bit less. And you want to make sure and peel off and do like foam to foam. It won't stick if you do like foam to the whatever this is. What is this? Like a wax paper? It won't stick to that. I probably could have done a better job lining up my foams, but I didn't. And I need to find the top again. Did I cover it? Where is it? I am losing my mind. I had the little pin dot and now I don't know where it's at. I probably covered it with one of these. Oh, it's right there. Okay. And I did. I covered it with this foam right here. I'm like, where in the world did it go? Okay, we're just going to put this in the center like it's supposed to. Come on, Ashley. All right. Ain't she so cute? Well, I guess it's a he because it's for a dad. Ain't he so cute? And look at that. So that added dimension of the foam just gave it more because the shaker wasn't enough. I'm just joking. And the shaker was probably plenty. I put way too much glitter in this, and I probably didn't need the foam, but you know what? This is actually really cool, and I like it. And if you move it around enough, you can see it does say number 1 dad, so you know what? And frankly, whoever receives this card, if they're complaining about too much glitter in this, they didn't appreciate the handmadeness on this. Okay, so I am just going to fold this in half. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And then I like to take my brayer and just like really crease it down in there. You didn't have to do that. What happened? Hello? What is this? My file. Oh my gosh. Okay. My score line is not in half. No way. Hold on. That is really weird. Let's go back into Cricut Design Space. And I'm going to right click and press detach. And then I'm going to click on this, right click and press detach. Let me select this score line in this rectangle and align it to the center. Ew, okay, that score line. I am going to resend the file to you. So if you've downloaded this file, I am going to update the file to reflect it because for some reason when I created this file, I must have not created it with the line in the center because it was just off just a little bit. So wait until after the live is over and then I will resave the file and send it out to you if you've already purchased the file. So cute. One problem I had was my Mylar had a bit of static electricity and my glitter was just sticking to it. I wiped it quickly with a dryer sheet and that helped let the glitter flow around. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. That I like the trick of the dryer sheet. Okay, so we got that. My card looks funky monkey because it didn't, you know, but we're gonna keep on rolling. Okay, now pretty much we're done. Fold it in half. We're going to glue on the dark blue. Onto the card. That looks good. All right, and then all we want to do now is glue on this to the front of our card. Then I am just going to glue this on top of here. I'm going to make sure this is nice and straight on there. Okay, I am getting comments that apparently the stream ended. I am just technical difficulties for sure. So I'm going to end the stream and hopefully it saves for you. But you know, technology is not my friend. But look at how cute this ended up turning out. Isn't it so stinking adorable? All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you later.